I think there are three different things going on. There's electrification, which is great for the environment, but frankly doesn't change the fundamental economics. There's autonomy, which is, and we're talking about it in cars, but also in drones and in robots and in factories, is a fundamental change to how society is built. The question to me is very much who's going to create the right models to build the right technology there. So if you think of what Tesla is doing, right? Tesla is collecting, it's charging me a lot of money for my car so it can collect data to build its next car, right? Which is brilliant from a business model perspective. And that's really, I think, the challenges we have going forward. Regulation is still out there. There's enough battery capacity in the world to build the cars tomorrow. I mean, we have fundamental challenges in changing how our society is built that autonomy is driving to.
Keeping that in mind, what's the higher priority then? Adapting autonomous cars for current infrastructure, or changing our infrastructure to adapt to an autonomous future? So,
I mean, definitely in America, we will not be able to adapt our infrastructure to anything. Yeah. We can't adapt it to ourselves, right? I mean, our infrastructure is a joke. We all know that. Germany might be a country that would be able to actually decide we're going to adapt our infrastructure, actually do it. Maybe Japan. But in the grand scheme of things, most places, you know, government is dysfunctional everywhere, right? And infrastructure is so expensive, that's not going to happen. And so I think that the direction that most autonomous cars are going today, which is let's take for granted the infrastructure and let's figure out how we can work within it, is what's going to happen. And I think we're building towards a world where you'll be able to move any physical thing, whether it's a person or a box or food, anywhere at a practically zero cost. And in that world, a lot of things change, right? Why do you need a kitchen? If you can have your kitchen be 3 miles away with a professional chef cooking, a professional robot chef who's cooking any kind of meal you could ever imagine. Why would you have a refrigerator in your house where you have food that's degrading? You're trying to actually manage your own supply chain of how much milk do I need, right? All these kinds of things will fundamentally change. So drones are a big part of that. And Aerobotics is a fascinating company there. The challenge I think that drones have similar to autonomous cars is how do you jumpstart your business in a way that you can actually work before the regulation catches up with the technology. And what Aerobotics have done is they're focused very much on factories, industrial location, mines, ports, some of the nastiest places in the world. And they're flying autonomously within those constraints of that territory. And that's giving them the ability to fly hundreds and thousands and tens of thousands of flight hours in real scenarios in the real world where they're surrounded by such dangerous materials that they're probably the safest thing sort of in that place. They're not flying over, you know, civilian areas, and they're building up that autonomous expertise. So they have a robotic box that you put in your facility, and literally it'll open up, a drone will fly out, it'll do missions, it'll come back, it'll change its batteries, it'll change its cameras, it'll go out again, and everything without any human intervention. And this is what we're going to have in every street corner, 10, 15 years, right? But to get there, just like Tesla needs to have me driving around for it to collect the data, Aerobotics is doing that in mines and other places with customers today so that it can get those flight hours.
Great. Noam Bardin, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.